And welcome back to Camp Lenoir-Rhyne University as we have just had the first pitch of Game 2 of our South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Bears hosting the Coker Cobras. Bears won Game 1, 7-0. Kelsey Scott leading off for the Cobras here in Game 2. Morgan Beeler on the mound for Lenoir-Rhyne. So the pretty standard 1-2 punch of Rakes and Beeler taking a hill here to start the games. 2 balls now and a strike to Kelsey Scott. Beeler 5-4 in the year, 2.75 ERA. Base on balls has hurt her a little bit. Gets a ground ball to Rackard there, easy play. And one quick out here in the top of the first in Game 2. So we'll watch Morgan's control a little bit. 35 walks, I think, in 61 innings, something like that. Yeah. So if she can throw strikes, that would certainly help her cause. As Chloe Pelham steps in. Pelham was a leadoff hitter in Game 1. It's 0 for 3 as, I guess, 10 of the 11 batters in Game 1 went hitless as Lauren Rakes pitched a one-hit shutout with 16 strikeouts. And that's about all you need to say. Mardigan there, easy play, and quickly 2 outs on infield ground balls from Morgan Beeler, and Bailey Douglas will step in. South Atlantic Conference openers for both teams there in Game 1, so Bears now 1-0 in the league. Coker 0-1. Coker now 10-13 overall. Bears win their 14th out of 15. They stand at 16-6. And just off the glove of Linhart there. Ball had some nice motion to it. Actually thought it might have been a strike. Big curve. And Beeler looks in. Beeler Jr. from Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. That would be nice. And she throws a strike to Bailey Douglas. Bear baseball team also hosting Coker this weekend. And I believe, well, there's a shot to center, and Moorfield's going to get a one-hopper there, quickly get it in, and Bailey Douglas has the first hit of Game 2 here for Coker, only second hit of the day for the Cobras overall, as Kaylee Oswell steps in for the Cobras, playing first base here, as she did in Game 1. The lone hit for Coker in Game 1 came off the bat of Oswell. And there's strike 1. Mentioned prior to Game 1, this was kind of a strength-on-strength. The Coker bats against Lenoir-Rhyne pitching. Lenoir-Rhyne pitching won Game 1. And hopefully we can in Game 2. 2-1 to count now. Looks like to Oswell. Bailey Douglas at first. We're just getting going here. And there's a ball. Count now, I believe, is 3-1. The official board says 2-1. We'll see what happens here. And there's a swing. Strike 2. Bears looking to sweep a doubleheader here. And the count is, well, now he says 2-2. Thought he had said 2-1 previously, but. And there's a swing and a miss. Nice strikeout there for Morgan Beeler. And Coker gets a base runner on a 2-out single from Bailey Douglas, but Beeler shuts the door there with a strikeout to end the inning, and we'll go to the bottom of the first, scoreless. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found an expert for my heart.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
And leading off the bottom of the first for the Bears, Savannah Moorfield, pretty familiar name there in the top of the order for Lenoir-Rhyne, became the all-time hits leader in Lenoir-Rhyne softball history with a leadoff single in game one and takes a strike here. Moorfield currently with a 22-game hitting streak, also a Lenoir-Rhyne record, so she's looking to extend that out to 23. As Callie Thornton is in the circle for Coker. Savannah, graduate student from Claudeville, Virginia. 3 for 4 in game one, scored a run, had an RBI. Solid as usual in center, and fouls one back here. Count goes to 1-2. Thornton, a freshman for Coker from Faison, North Carolina, North Duplin High School down east. Probably not far from Hartsville. Not sure how the map would look there. Ball's outside. Count goes to 2-2. And here's a pitch from Thornton. And that's just over the pitcher's head. And nice play there by shortstop Delaney Eves for the first out of the bottom of the first. And Caitlin Rackard will step in. She's been batting second for the Bears and will do so again here in game two. 0 for 2 in game one, but scored a run and had an RBI as well, reached on an error. And back in the first inning of game one, see how she does here. Squares to bunt, and that's strike number one. Well, okay, it's not strike number one. Didn't look like she pulled the bat back, but that is a ball for the freshman shortstop for Lenoir-Rhyne, Caitlin Rackard. Oh, and boy, that's off the top of the helmet. And if I remember right, she got hit in game one. Well, that went way up in the air, too. Let's hope she's okay. She did get hit by a pitch in the calf back in game one. She's down on her knees. Head coach Sheena Holler talking with her, along with Lenoir-Rhyne athletic trainer. Can't see who that is. Bit of a scary moment here for Caitlin Rackard for sure. And I'm sure her parents. Crowd's pretty quiet here. Just got away from Thornton. She's going to walk towards first. And seems like she's going to be okay. I'm sure it startled her. And a nice advertisement for wearing a helmet. Looks like Caitlin's all right. Well, maybe they're going to pinch run for her. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe they're just giving her a few minutes to kind of get collected. So a little bit of a unnerving start here. And yes, there will be a pinch runner. I need to kind of see who that's going to be. Looks like it might be Madison Jackson. Is that number 14? Yes, looks like Madison Jackson. Freshman from Gibson, North Carolina. I guess not Gibsonville. That's one of my old home places back in pre-elementary school. So Madison Jackson is going to pinch run for Caitlin Rackard. We'll see if Rackard comes back in the game. Her heads back out to shortstop in the top half of the second. Hopefully she's okay. So Bears have a base runner as Cassidy Wall steps in. And quickly ball 2 on Cassidy. Wall 1 for 3 in game 1. Had a sac fly, RBI, and scored a run. So she had a pretty good start to the afternoon. And swinging a miss here, though. And count goes to 2-1. So Lenoir-Rhyne with an early base runner. Coker had one on in the top of the first, and Morgan Beeler was able to shut that down pretty quickly. We'll see how the Bears do here with a runner on the bottom half. And that's a strike to Cassidy Wall. Count now 2-2. Game 2 of our doubleheader just getting going. Bears won 7-0 behind one hit shutout and 16 strikeouts from Lauren Rakes in game 1. And a little bit outside. Count goes full to Cassidy Wall. Cassidy, one of 3 freshmen regularly in the lineup for Lenoir-Rhyne. The others being Caitlin Rackard and Julia Mardigan. Here's the pitch. And that's fouled back to the right. And then another freshman. Madison Jackson pinch running for Rackard. Took one off a helmet. Pitch that got away from Callie Thornton. So hopefully we'll see Caitlin back out in the field to start the second. Here's a pitch to Wall, and she fouls that one back too. It's going to be out of play. And the count remains full, 3-2. Satellite Conference openers for both teams, the doubleheader, that is. Bears won the first, so early 1-0 record in the South Atlantic Conference. And just stayed alive there. It didn't look like it was going to curve off the plate. Nice job by Cassie to stay alive there and get a piece of that one. Cassie in right field. Again here, typically her spot when she's in the field. Sometimes she'll just hit, but starting in the field both games here today. Here's a pitch from Thornton, and that one's going to be a fly to right, and the right fielder, Fair, went back, the second baseman, but the right fielder called her off, that being Kelsey Scott, and 2 away now for the Bears. Kylie Linhart steps in. We mentioned Savannah Moorfield becoming the Bears' all-time hit leader in game 1. Linhart tied for second in all-time home runs with 44, so she's on a quest for her own spot in the record books here. 1 for 3, game 1. And waited on that one. It's a nice shot down the third base line. That might be 2. They're going to send Jackson, and she's in easily in a stand-up double for Kylie Linhart. So nice job by Kylie as she gets the Bears a couple of runners in scoring position. Now 2 outs and Julia Mardigan coming to the plate. Mardigan 1 for 4 back in game 1. Hit a double, scored a run, had an RBI, so she certainly is more than capable, as we've mentioned, from these freshmen. And she's got a chance here to put the Bears up early. with a hit. Callie Thornton in the circle for Coker. Here's the pitch. And that's ball one. It's early, scoreless, but the Bears threatening here in the bottom of the first. And that outside also. Thornton put a lot of movement on the ball. It's working its way outside after it leaves her hand. But a little bit too far outside here on this first couple of pitches. As Mardigan ahead in the count 2-0. And there's a strike. Pardon me. And cough there real quick. And there's a pitch from Thornton. That's going to be fouled off out of play in the right field. And the count now 2-2. Bears winners of 14 out of 15 currently in this run they're on. Slow start, tough trip to Florida back in early February, but have gotten in a groove here ever since then. And ball's low, count's going to go full. So 2 outs, 2 on. And Mardigan has run the count full. See if the Bears can get a timely hit and get on the board first here. Here's a pitch from Thornton. And there's a shot up the middle, and it's going to be at least one. Lenhart's going to score easily from second. And nice RBI single from Julia Mardigan. Bears plate 2 and take an early 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. So nice job by the freshman second baseman. And Hannah Jennings will step in, Bears third baseman, to hit now. See if she can keep this inning going. 2 outs, but the Bears are on board early. 2-0. And trying to keep it going. Callie Thornton with the pitch here from Coker. And that's going to be outside. Ball one. It was a nice shot by Mardigan right there in the right center. No chance to get either runner. Lenhart scored easily from second. And the Bears with a quick lead. Jennings reached out to get that one fouled back. Count goes to 1-1. There's Jose Altuve. Missed him there at one point. Yeah. Two and one. Now the count to the Bear third baseman, senior out of Marshall, North Carolina, Madison High School. And here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss. That's strike 2. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Hannah Jennings in. Julia Mardigan at first after a single plated 2 for the Bears. Mardigan's got 3 RBIs on the day. Jennings reached out and got another one to stay alive. And chips in. She had hit an RBI back in the game 1. And of course, the bigger story, 7-inning shutout, 1 hit, 2 walks, 16 strikeouts, gives her 135 on the year. She leads Division II. Here's a pitch from Thornton. And that's outside. So Lauren has a chance to help out her fellow pitcher, Morgan Beeler, get another run across for Lenoir-Rhyne. Laura Beth Wood is on deck. And looked like might have overthrown that one a little one. Thornton, I mean. And the count's 2-0. Early in game 2 of our doubleheader, Bears with a quick 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first and looking for more. That's a strike, and they're not going to have a chance to get Jennings at second as she kind of pulled up early and sort of rolled into the bag. There's double thumbs up and a laugh from Hannah Jennings. 2 runners now in scoring position. Here's the pitch to Lauren Rakes. And just off the plate. Thorne's got a lot of movement, but she's toying with the edges and not quite getting there. Lauren up in the count now 3-1. And she fouls that one back. Count goes full. Shaking her head like maybe she shouldn't have chased that one, but she did, and the count's full. Joey Morgan at third, Hannah Jennings at second, and Lauren Rakes trying to push across another run or two here. Thorne's going to ask for a different softball. And they get one out of the LR dugout and toss that one. Well, umpire looks at it and puts it in the pouch, so maybe he didn't see anything wrong with it. Could have been damp or something from sweat. 3-2, 2 outs. Here's a pitch to Lauren Rakes. And a swing and a miss. So, Bears score 2, but Callie Thornton gets out of it by striking out Lauren Rakes. And what could have been a really tough inning for Coker ends up with just 2 runs from the Bears. So, we will head to the top of the second with the Bears leading 2-0. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bear Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Break great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity.
And Delaney Eves will step in for Coker. Cobra's shortstop. And she will face Morgan Beeler. Beeler gave up a 2-out single in the first, but struck out the next batter, so fairly easy inning for the LR junior. As now 8 shutout innings versus Coker to this point. And there's a nice pitch strike. Morgan, a little bit different pitcher from Lauren. Lauren moves the ball around well, but just can stand in there and overpower you a little bit too. Morgan, really good about getting the ball different places, changing speeds as she did there, ball movement. So really good contrast to have them go back-to-back in whichever order. Gives the two teams 2 different types of pitchers to look at and potentially keep them off balance. And there's a ball 2. Base on balls has bitten Morgan a little bit this year, so we'll keep track of that. No walks in the first. Bears leading 2-0. We're in the top of the second, game 2 of our doubleheader. Boy, and pull the string there, and Eves was way out in front of that one, and out number 1 here. Second strikeout for Beeler. Brooklyn Stunis will step in. Left fielder for Coker. And here's a pitch from Beeler. And there's strike one. And foul back quickly, 2 strikes on Stunis. Oh for 2 in game 1. Did draw a walk in the 7th. One of only 2 walks that Lauren Rakes issued in game 1. 1-2 the count now. Morgan Beeler in the circle for Lenoir-Rhyne, trying to sweep a doubleheader from Coker. And there's a shot to Laura Beth Wood. She throws a glove out, a nice snag. Was good reaction from Laura Beth. And quickly 2 outs now for the Bears as Ariana Fair will step in. Fair at second base as she was in game 1. Showed us in game 1, a very good fielder. None of the Cobras had much luck at the plate. Let's see if game 2 will be the same. There's a bunt to Wood, and that was perfect spot and perfect timing. Good bunt by Fair, but she ran right by Wood and was tagged out. So quick 1-2-3 inning again from Morgan Beeler. And the Bears will go to the bottom of the second with a 2-run lead. We'll be back in a few minutes. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network. Well, as happens sometimes, the last great play in the field becomes the leadoff hitter the next inning, and that's the case with Laura Beth Wood. A couple of nice plays in the field. Last inning caught a line shot from Brooklyn Stunis, and then 3 unassisted there to end the inning, and Laura Beth will lead off the bottom of the second. Bears with a 2-0 lead against the Coker Cobras from Hartsville, South Carolina. And here's a pitch from Callie Thornton. And that's a ball. Bears 16-6 after the Game 1 win, 1-0 in the South Atlantic Conference. And curveball from Thornton. Wood got a piece of it. Count goes to 1-1. Laura Beth wears a knee brace, but she ran the bases in Game 1. Scored a run, in fact. And there's a shot to center, and the center fielder's on their horse, and that's going to get off of her glove and go to the fence. Laura Beth gets into second quickly with a stand-up double to lead off the second inning for the Bears. No sign of knee trouble on that one, and she got into it. Ava Joy got on her horse, got back to the fence, but the ball just came out of her glove. That was going to be a really good catch if she'd have made it. No fault there. And the Bears have a runner in scoring position here early in the bottom of the second. Kendall Osborne at the plate. And that goes off a glove, and good heads-up base running by Laura Beth Wood, and all of a sudden she's at third base on the pass ball from Kelsey Golly. Almost looked like Osborne got hit for a second, but evidently not. And the Bears now with a runner at third and nobody out here in the bottom of the second. And that one's off the plate, ball two. Osborne just missing on some of these. She's getting behind in counts and ended up giving up 3 consecutive hits back in inning 1 and already giving up a double here. And just off the plate again. Three the count to the Bear left fielder, senior out of Concord, North Carolina. And there's a strike. Able to be pretty choosy there up in the count 3-0. So you see how she handles here at 3-1. I imagine if she likes it with a runner on third, she'll swing away, which she does and just misses. So after falling behind 3-0, Callie Thornton has run the count full against Kendall Osborne, and this will be the payoff pitch in that battle with Laura Beth Wood standing at third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. The Bears threatening, and there's ball 4. So a double and a walk, along with a pass ball. Have Bears on the corners. And we head to the top of the lineup, Savannah Moorfield. She had a soft pop-up to the shortstop back in inning 1. She was 3 of 4 in game 1. Scored a run, had an RBI, and became the Bears' all-time hit leader. It's pretty good day so far. And extended Bear record hitting streak to 22 games. So hit here gets her another game further into that streak and an RBI. And she's going to pop up. It's going to be out of play back here, close to us, but there goes Jose Altuve, a youngster in a Jose Altuve shirt. Bears fan is helping run down foul balls. And looks like he's having a good time doing it. And here's a foul back. Oh! Boy, I could have had a shot at that one. I just missed. Oh, it's embarrassing. Didn't even hit my fingers. I should have leaned out more. Oh, well. Maylee Kellis helping me here today, as usual. And that ball high and tight. Count goes to 2-2. Man, I think if I'd have leaned a little bit further, I might have had that one. Oh, well. Maybe I'll get another shot. Not really my first shot of the year so far. Still early in the season. 2-2 the count. Bears have runners on first and third. Savannah Moorfield trying to extend this Bears lead. Currently 2-0. And here's the pitch. And stays alive there. Count remains 2-2. Bears will be home on Monday against Limestone in another South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Lenoir-Rhyne's on spring break that week, but we got a couple of home doubleheaders. Come out and join us. There's a pop right to the pitcher, and that's going to be out number 2. So Savannah's gotten under her first couple here in game number 2 after going 3 for 4 in game 1. And first out of the inning will bring Caitlin Rackard. Well, no, it's Leanna Sherrill coming to the plate. I forgot to check and see who was at shortstop for us in the top of the second. Apologize about that. Caitlin got hit by a pitch in the helmet back in the bottom of the first, and Leanna Sherrill now hitting. Sherrill got an at-bat in game 1. Senior from Statesville, West Iredell High School, right up I-40 here from Hickory. And it counts 1-1 to Sherrill. And that one off the plate. Thorne shaking her head. She's had quite a few of those. And like I say, she's picking around with the edges, and she's gotten to the point where she's got to throw a strike, and the Bears have been able to tag her up pretty good. 4 hits so far. We're just 1 1/3 innings. Sherrill with a good cut there, but fouls it back. Early in our game 2 of our doubleheader, the Bears with a two-run lead and great chance to add some more. That one high. Count goes to 3-2. Thornton showed a lot of pitches here early on in game 2, and that's another full count to a Bear hitter. This Leanna Sherrill. Chance for a RBI here. Extend the Bears' lead. Here's the pitch from Thornton. And boy, she turned on that one. Way high and way out off beyond the third base fence. And the count remains full. Laura Beth Wood at third. Kendall Osborne at first for the Bears. Cassidy Wall on deck. See how Leanna Sherrill does here. And just a little squibber out in front. Thorne's got one play. That's at first, and they get Sherrill. Wood had to hold up at third. Osborne is able to advance, though. And Sherrill is out. 1-3, and Cassie Wall steps in. Wall, right fielder for Bears. Freshman from Davidson, North Carolina, flew out to right back in the first, but has a chance to push a couple across here with a hit. And that one's going to get popped up, too. Well, they're just getting under it. Here's a shortstop for Coker, makes a play, and that's out number 3. So Bears get 2 runners on with no outs, but can't push either one across as Thornton gets out of a pickle and holds the Lenoir-Rhyne lead to 2-0. So we'll head to the top of the third with the Bears leading. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
I love being busy in my garden. I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found the expert for my heart.
And welcome back. Joe Smith with you here this afternoon. Excuse me. Well, sorry about that. And a little tickle in my throat. We're back here for the top of the third. Bears leading 2-0. Morgan Beeler in the circle for Lenoir-Rhyne. Kelsey Golly, the catcher, for Coker. Nice scoop from Hannah Jennings. And couldn't tell if that was a throw. Might have hit Golly. She's holding her arm. Yeah, she's pulling up her sleeve and looking. So Jennings' throw hits the Coker base runner, and she will reach for Coker's second base runner here in game 2. And Ava J. comes to the plate for Coker. Pardon me, a little tickle in my throat there all of a sudden. Jay was on the original lineup card for game 1, but did not play. It was Madison Mackenzie Harmon instead, but Jay in the lineup here for game 2. So runner on first for Coker. Kelsey Golly reached on a little errant throw from Hannah Jennings. Don't see that very often. Nice scoop and grab and step and throw, but just got away from her just a little bit. Here's a ground ball to Wood. She bobbles but steps on first, really the only place she had, and that's one away for Coker. Golly will advance to second on the play, and we'll go to the top of the lineup for the Cobras. Kelsey Scott. She grounded out to shortstop. Checking out to see where we are here with the Bears lineup. Looks like Mardigan has moved to shortstop, and Leanna Sherrill is at second base. Apologize for not following up on that after Racker got hit by a pitch in the first. It just kind of slipped my mind. I guess it was a senior moment. But so Mardigan stays in the game and moves to shortstop. And Leanna Sherrill takes Rackard's place in the batting order, but is playing second base with Mardigan at short. So hopefully Caitlin's okay. She took one, if you missed it, she took a pitch off the helmet. And Dale, she was shaking up a little bit, so maybe they're just being cautious, which I think is appropriate. And hopefully she's fine and back at it on Monday. 1-2 the count now here to Kelsey Scott, leadoff hitter for Coker. And that is strike 3. So third strikeout for Morgan Beeler. Second out here. In the top of the third, Kelsey Golly at first base, reached on error, throwing error, and advanced to second on a ground ball to first. And Chloe Pelham steps in for Coker. Pelham hitting, I think, .463 coming into the game. Was hitless in game 1, as was virtually the entire lineup. Wow, we don't see that often. That was a double hit. She foul ball off the plate, and then on the follow-through, hit the back of her bat. That is very extreme odds of that not happening most of the time. 1-1 to count to Chloe Pelham. She's third base for Coker. And here's a pitch from Beeler. And ground ball just past third, and they're saying it's fair. Went over the bag fair. Looked like it hit foul once it passed the bag, but that's the first run of the game, of the day, for that matter, for Coker. And it's a double by Chloe Pelham. I believe her 13th of the year. And we mentioned it back in game 1. Coker can hit. You know, heading into this doubleheader, they had 20 home runs in 22 games, had 39 doubles in 22 games. And Lauren Rakes, they hit a buzzsaw on Lauren Rakes in game 1. But they can certainly hit it. I don't know if they're asking for confirmation there from field umpire, but he was standing right there and didn't seem to shake off the plate umpire, and they called it fair. Looked like it was probably fair when it crossed the bag and then hit out in the grass, foul. So looked like probably a good call. And Coker's on the board for the first time today and has a runner on second. There's a ground ball to Jennings. She's going to take the play at first, and that's out number 3. But not before Coker finally crosses the plate for the first time today and cuts Lenoir-Rhyne lead to 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the third. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC is ready for another exciting football season. Everett has been a proud sponsor of the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears for 25 years, and we wish the Bears a safe and successful season. And August means it's all systems go for another winning season with the Carolina Panthers. We have a tradition of winning in the Carolinas, and when you want to be a winner in the car, truck, or SUV game, come see the sales and service champions at Everett, because if you didn't get an Everett deal, you dropped the ball, baby. Woo!
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
So the Bear lead is cut to 2-1. In the top of the third, Kylie Linhart steps in. She had a double, scored a run back in the first. Takes a swing and a miss here against Callie Thornton, the Coker pitcher. Bears 2 runs, but have left 4 on base, and kind of wince a little bit at that because, as I mentioned, this Coker lineup can hit. Don't want to have too many opportunities to score runs go by. And there's ball 2 to Linhart. Thornton puts a lot of movement on the ball, but she has thrown a lot of balls here. She's gotten behind in the count some, and Bears do have 4 hits. There's a long fly to left. If that's fair, it's just foul. Wow. That would have been number 45 for Kylie Linhart. She just turned on that one. And the 45 being significant because she's currently tied for second all-time in home runs for Lenoir-Rhyne with 44. And number 1, Sarah Atkins-Cook, is at 46. And there's a shot to right. And that's going to be a fly ball out. 4 out, number 1 here to start off the bottom of the third. Julia Mardigan steps in. Starts the game at second where she normally plays. Has moved to shortstop after Caitlin Rackard was hit by a pitch. That was the second time today. However, the second one was off the helmet, and she looked like she was shaking up a little bit. So Bears making a move in the field. Leanna Sherrill moved to second, and Morgan moved over to shortstop. And there's ball 1 as lights come on here. I don't know if they'll need them or not, but might as well flip them on just in case. Our last weekend of Eastern Standard Time. Well, I guess next weekend sort of is because the time won't change until Saturday night, but we'll be in daylight savings time starting next weekend. And I don't know about you, but that makes me happy. Those days in the winter when it's dark at 5:10 p.m. Ugh. Those days will be over here in a week or so. Ooh, just inside the Mardigan. And the count goes 3-0. So once again, Thornton behind in count. With one out here in the bottom of the third. Bears lead 2-1. And here's the pitch to Mardigan. And that's outside ball 4. So 4-pitch walk puts Julia Mardigan at first. So she's off to a good start here in game 2. Drove in both runs for the Bears. Back into first and now stands at first with Hannah Jennings coming to the plate. Hannah also with a single in the first. Was stranded at second base. Bears have another chance to put some runs together here in the third inning. One away. Margan on first. Here's the pitch to Jennings. She squares the bunt and fouls it back to the wall. 4-0-1 count. Bears at home Monday. First pitch for that doubleheader is at 2 o'clock. Bears hosting Limestone. South Atlantic Conference doubleheader. Then Thursday, barring rain, which the early forecast indicates we may have on Wednesday and Thursday. Bears will host Erskine, the Flying Fleet of Erskine, South Carolina. And one of my favorite professors during my time here at school, Russ Benton, was a graduate of Erskine and retired there and was teaching classes after retirement. Here's a pitch. And ball 2. Bears winners of 14 out of 15 here. And want to keep that run alive. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Jennings. And she turns on it, and that is just foul. Wow. Just foul. Whew. I think Mardigan could have run a while because that would have gotten down in the far corner, I think. It was just off of first base. Oswell made a good diving attempt at it, but I think it was going to be foul anyway. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch to Jennings. And not quite as hard, but same general location. Count remains 2-2. See Hank and Bernice McCrory here today, catching some Lenoir-Rhyne softball. Of course, their names adorn our College of Health Sciences building. Also contains some nice space for athletic department, football locker room, and athletic training room. And great Bears, both of them, and have been incredible supporters of their alma mater. And we really appreciate it. 2-2 the count. Here's a pitch from Thornton to Hannah Jennings. And a swing and a miss. Thornton wins that battle as Jennings goes down on strikes. And the ball hit funny off of Golly. She kind of leaned over. She lost where the ball was. It looks like it hit her on the foot. So maybe that was a foul ball. Thought it was strike 3. I didn't really hear the tip. But Jennings must have gotten a piece of it and went off of Golly's foot, and she was shaking up there for a minute. Tough being a catcher, even with all that equipment. You can take some shots back there. So giving her a little bit of time as she looks in the dugout. And Jenny's going to step out also. And now we seem to be settled. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Thornton. And that's a long shot to right center. I think that's going to be, that's easily out of here. What a long home run by Hannah Jennings. And the Bears now lead 4-0. Boy, that was a shot. First home run of the day for either team. And there was no doubt about that one, as it's all smiles as Jennings hits home plate. And the Bears take a 4-1 lead. Boy, that was gone quick. High and deep to right center, and Hannah Jennings with the home run for the Bears. It's her second home run of the year. 14th RBI. She had a couple of RBIs in game 1, I believe, and now comes back with a couple here. Yeah. Doubling a couple RBIs, as I mentioned back in game one. So 4 RBI day for Hannah Jennings on a long home run to right center and puts the Bears in the lead 4-1. Lauren Rakes at the plate. She struck out to end the first. So we can give her a little bit of a break after a one-hit shutout and 16 strikeouts in game one. But I imagine she'd like to get on base here. Did have a hit and an RBI in game one. And another pitch off the plate. Count goes to 2-0. Excuse me, 3-0 to the Bears designated player here in game two, Lauren Rakes. Batting for Morgan Beeler, who's in the circle. And there's ball 4. So all of a sudden, Thornton, after getting out 1, fly ball to right field, 4-pitch walk to Mardigan, home run to Hannah Jennings, and now a 4-pitch walk to Lauren Rakes with Laura Beth Wood stepping in. And she certainly has the power to get one out of here as well. Done a really good job at first base for us today, and now Coker will call a timeout as Brianna Strickland, I believe, will head to circle to talk with Thornton, who looks like it could be getting away from her pretty quick if they don't settle things down. Of course, Bear fans will not necessarily be disappointed at that. Starting to cool off a little bit here. Beautiful day. It has been. I feel like maybe our first real good spring day out here for softball. Baseball also hosting Coker. Won last night, I believe 17-4. That was their 15th win in a row for Bear baseball, and they were leading game one pretty easily. When I checked between these two games, they had started later. I'm not sure how that game turned out, but the Bear baseball team has been playing extremely well here earlier in the season, and LR softball, after a little hiccup in Florida, is also on a roll. As Laura Beth Wood steps in, 1 out, 2 runs across for Lenoir-Rhyne. Lauren Rakes at first, and there's a swing and a miss by Wood. Wood, junior from Madison, North Carolina, to North Stokes High School. And here's the pitch from Thornton. And that's a fly ball to right. Looks like it's playable. Rakes will walk back to first, and that's out number 2. So Kelsey Scott, the right fielder for Coker, has recorded both outs here this inning. But in between those two, Bears scored 2 on a long home run by Hannah Jennings. And have Lauren Rakes at first as Kendall Osborne steps in. She walked in the second, but was stranded. And here's the pitch from Callie Thornton. And a swing and a miss. Opening weekend in the Southland Conference for softball and baseball. Conference openers for everyone. And Bears trying to go 2-0 here early in the SAC season. But a long way to go on this one. We're just in the bottom of the third. Bears lead 4-1. If Osborne can reach, Savannah Moorfield stands on deck. Here's a pitch to Osborne and fouls back beyond the LR dugout. And the count goes to 2-1. I think the plate umpire and Kendall were getting on the same page, and here's the pitch, and swings a little bit early, and that one gets into Coker dugout. Had that happen in game one. It's a lot harder shot. They've got somebody standing at the entrance now with a glove. One and two the count. And here's the pitch to Osborne. And took something off, and that's going to be fly to center, and it looks like it's playable by Ava J. And the Bears will head to the field for the top of the fourth. Not before scoring 2 on a long home run by Hannah Jennings that puts the Bears now with a 4-1 lead. So we'll be back right after this. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
And we're here, top of the fourth. And there's a one hopper to Leanna Sherrill at second base for the Bears. And quickly, one out for Morgan Beeler. Beeler gave up the one unearned run last inning. Other than that, has pitched very well. 2 hits to this point, 3 strikeouts. No walks. And there's a pitch to Delaney Eves. Eves struck out in the second and takes strike 1 here. Thanks for joining us today. Joe Smith with you, along with Malik Ellis. As I try to mention, which is true, he does all the work and I get to talk, so that's a pretty good deal for me. And 0-2 the count now to Eves. It's the Bears with a 4-1 lead. Beeler trying to get Coker here in the top of the fourth. Here's a pitch from Morgan. And a little bit low, I guess. Count runs full to Delaney Eves. Is it full? And that off the plate, I guess it's full now. So 3-2 the count. One out here, top of the fourth. Bears lead 4-1. Morgan Beeler in the circle facing Delaney Eves, the Coker shortstop. And there's a swing and a miss. Nice job by Morgan as she strikes out Eves for the second time here in game 2. 2 away now, and Brooklyn Stunis steps in. Hard line shot back in the second that was plucked out of the air by Laura Beth Wood on a great defensive play. She had 2 that inning. And ball 1 here. Morgan with a little smile, and she thought that got away from her a little bit. And she steps in to face the Cobras left fielder, Brooklyn Stunis. And there's ball 2. Bears won game 1, 7-0. 1 hit, complete game shutout by Lauren Rakes with 16 strikeouts, and nation leading 135 on the year. The reigning National Pitcher of the Week, Lauren Rakes, did nothing to hurt that status in game one. Pull the string there. Did Morgan, and the count goes to 3-1. 2 outs here, top of the fourth. 4-1 Bears. Here's a pitch from Morgan. And then high on outside, 4-4. So first walk of the afternoon for Morgan Beeler. And Coker has a base runner with 2 away. And Ariana Fair stepping in. She grounded out to, this is a bunt play to Laura Beth Wood back in the second. And takes a ball here. Wood steps in with a little bit of encouragement there. I think Morgan wanted that one. She's behind in the count 1-0. Here's the pitch. And there's strike one. So Beeler, after the 2-out walk, goes 1-1 here on Fair. Fair's been at second base for both games and pretty good fielder from what we have seen. And she's worked on trying to bunt her way on a couple of times. Hadn't worked out. But she's keeping Hannah Jennings, the Bear third baseman, alert with those possibilities. 1-2 the count now. Here's the pitch from Morgan Beeler. And it's going to be a ground ball to Sherrill. She scoops and throws to Wood, and that's out number 3. So the 2-out walk does not come back and haunt Lenoir-Rhyne as we'll go to the bottom of the fourth, and the Bears holding a 4-1 lead. We'll be back in a few minutes. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network.
Break great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Savannah Moorfield steps in for Lenoir-Rhyne here in the bottom of the fourth. Extended her or moved to the top of the list and hits for Lenoir-Rhyne all time back in game one. Also extended her hitting streak to 22 games, a Bear record, and she's hoping to get that to 23 here in game two, but she's 0 for 2 to this point. Facing Callie Thornton, she's been in the circle the entire way for Coker. And a count quickly 0-2 to Moorfield. Just about every pitch from Thornton's moving around some, so I don't know if that's gotten Savannah off balance a little bit or that went down in the dirt, ball one. Leanna Sherrill on deck. We'll come back to that in just a second. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Moorfield. And that's outside, ball two. Kelsey Golly held the ball for just a second. A little smile on the face of Callie Thornton. I think they wanted that one. But count now 2-2. And that one high and inside. Count goes full. I'm sure Savannah would like to extend that hitting streak, but getting on base at all in whatever fashion would be, I'm sure she would take that too. And full count, here's the pitch. And she takes ball 4. So, after being in the hole 0-2 to start the at-bat, Savannah Moorfield works away on base with a walk, and Leanna Sherrill steps in to face Callie Thornton. Sherrill replaced Caitlin Rackard in a lineup. Rackard, if you missed it, took a pitch off a helmet in her first at bat. And there's Moorfield takes off and no shot at getting her and easily into second base with her, I believe, second stolen base of the day. Back to Leanna Sherrill. So Sherrill came in the field for Rackard. After Rackard got hit, Madison Jackson pinched her in, and Sherrill's been in the field since then and in Rackard's spot in the lineup. Sherrill at second base. Mardigan moved over to shortstop where Rackard had been. And that's how that transpired in the Bears lineup. We certainly hope Caitlin Rackard's okay. She walked off. You could tell she was shaken up, and I imagine, at least hopefully that was just being cautious with a fine young freshman shortstop for the Bears. Sherrill squares the bunt. Ball goes foul. Count goes to 1-2. Sherrill's been busy in the field. She's made a couple nice plays at second base. Grounded out to the pitcher in her first at bat back in the second. And here's the pitch from Callie Thornton. And off the plate. Count goes to 2-2. Bears trying to sweep a doubleheader here. 1-1, 7-0. Lead here 4-1. Bottom of the fourth. And there's another ball. Count goes full. So Thornton thrown a lot of pitches. Coker used 2 pitchers in game 1. Brandy Davis started. Jordan Goodman finished up, and Thornton has gone the distance so far in game 2, and there's a walk to Leanna Sherrill. So, back-to-back walks to lead off the top of the fourth for Thornton. And Cassidy Wall steps in. She flied out to right in the first. A high fly out to the shortstop back in the second. But Wall now with an opportunity to push a couple of runs across, or at least maybe one, as Savannah Moorfield stands at second. Leanna Sherrill at first for the Bears, and ball 1 to Wall. And just outside ball 2. So Thornton's having some trouble finding the plate here. She's already walked a couple and hit a batter. Walked 2 this inning, so 4 walks and hit batsman. And we're just in the bottom of the fourth. And that one's fouled back, not as close as the last one was. I can't make a play on that. Nice play by a fan there. He did a better job than I did. And that was a lot higher ball. Oh, well, I'll get a chance, hopefully. We'll see. 2-1 to count now to Cassidy Wall. 1 for 3 back in game 1. Scored a run, drove in a run. And there's ball 3 in the dirt. Nice play by Golly to hold Moorfield there at second. Savannah can run, and she will take off. It's one of the big assets we have offensively. In addition to her hits and drawing walks, she can run. And covers a lot of ground out in center. And there's a chopper to second. Oh, and it's just off of Fair's glove. Kind of ate her up a little bit. She wasn't sure how to glove front or underneath. And tough one there for Fair. She's played really well at second place today, but that one, like I said, kind of ate her up. And Wall will reach on a E4. But the Bears get a run as Savannah Moorfield gets across, and the Bears now lead 5-1. So Leanna Sherrill on second for Lenoir-Rhyne. Cassidy Wall at first, and Kylie Linhart steps in. And ball one. Linhart doubled and scored in the first, flew out to right in the third. So she's got a couple of doubles today, I believe. Had RBI back in game one. And there's a shot to right. That might be out of here too. And there it is. Home run number 45 all time for Kylie Linhart. And it's a 3-run shot to get her into second place on the all-time home run list for the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears. And there's a smile from Kylie. Hopefully she's not pressing too much, but man, that was about the same place as Hannah Jennings over the accolade board, we'll call it, in right center, where all our regional trips are posted and super regional trips. And boy, that one got out too. And opposite field, she got some power. Boy, it took something to get that one out. But there you go. Kylie Linhart, second home run of this game for the Bears. And this one a 3-run shot for the Lenoir-Rhyne catcher. And she now moves into sole possession of second place on the Bears' all-time home run list. Only one away from Sarah Atkins-Cook, who since 2012 has been the Bears' home run leader with 46. Kylie Linhart now with 45. And in a great spot to become our all-time home run leader for Lenoir-Rhyne softball. And now with an 8-1 lead, or I guess deficit from Coker's standpoint, they will go back to Jordan Goodman. She came in relief in game one of Brandy Davis. And now we'll do the same in relief of Callie Thornton. So Callie Thornton's day did not finish well. She was trailing 2-1 at the end of 2, then gave up a couple in the third on a home run by Hannah Jennings, and now 4 here in inning 4, bottom of the 4th. 3 of those coming on a long home run from Kylie Linhart, the 45th of her career. Now Julia Martin will step in. The catcher's coming out. Called time, is walking to the dugout. Not sure if she might be changing the card in her wristband. I guess different pitchers would have different ones, and I would think the catcher would need to have that one also. Excuse me. And here we go. Jordan Goodman now in to face Julia Mardigan. Mardigan had drove in 2 with a single in the first. That was the Bears' first 2 runs. Walked and scored on Jennings' home run in the third. And bases are clear here, but no outs. So it's almost like starting the bottom of the 4th all over again. Here's a pitch from Goodman, and there's a line to left center. That's going to almost get to the fence, but I think Margan's going to be able to get to second base. She goes in head first, but there was no play, and the Bears have another base runner on a double by Julia Margan. Her second hit here in game 2. She's been on base all 3 times. She was 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run back in game 1. So nice day for Julia Margan, who slid over to shortstop after Caitlin Rackard took a wild pitch off the helmet in the first inning, so hopefully she's fine. There's a bunt by Jennings. And did they get her? Yes. So that's the first out. A sacrifice by Hannah Jennings. And that will move Mardigan to third. And Lauren Rakes comes to the plate. Struck out in the first. Walked in the third. Has a chance to push another run across for Lenoir-Rhyne here in the bottom of the fourth. And that's ball one from Goodman. So Goodman's seen quite a bit of work here today. Pitched 4 innings in game 1. Comes in relief of Callie Thornton here in the fourth in game 2. And there's a shot to right center. Boy, the Bears are just starting to tee off here. That's a to the fence, easy RBI double for Lauren Rakes. And Bears are opening it up right now. A couple of doubles following the 3-run homer from Kylie Linhart. And the Bears now lead 9-1. Wow. 5-run inning here for Lenoir-Rhyne. 7 runs in the last 2 innings as Laura Beth Wood steps in. Boy, she plays a good first base, and she's made some really, really nice plays today at first. Doubled in the second, so she's had some good at-bats as well. And got a chance to get an RBI here with Lauren Rake standing on second. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. And Bears leading comfortably 9-1. And there's a shot to right by Wood, and that's going to go back, and that's off the bottom of the fence. Rakes is going to score. The right fielder's down for Coker. She hit the fence. Thankfully, it wasn't where one of the support poles was. At least it didn't look like it, but she got there and immediately went down. Ariana Fair, the second baseman, had to run out and make the play. Pretty good sportsmanship there by Laura Beth Wood. I mean, the ball was still in play technically, but Wood held up at second. Boy, I hope she's okay. It's been a couple of tough moments here in this game, one for each team. You know, Rackard with got hit off the helmet, a wild pitch, and now Kelsey Scott is on her hands and knees, it looks like, out there in right field. I hope she's okay. And the trainer and coaching staff out to check on Kelsey along with some of her teammates. Tough to see really what happened. We're looking through the screen. You could tell the ball was going to get to the fence, and she made a heck of an effort at it, that's for sure, and paid the price going into it. Hustle play by Fair. And they're helping her off the field, so that doesn't, hate to see that. Bear fans acknowledging the effort, as well they should. And imagine Coker will have to put in a new right fielder. So Kelsey Scott gets some help off the field. And hate to see that happen, but all these players hustle. They all play hard, and sometimes, going for a ball, and I got to get there, whether the fence is there or not. So hopefully Kelsey's okay. And we'll see what happens here lineup-wise. It looks like is Hannah Davis. Looks like Hannah Davis will go into right field, replacing Kelsey Scott. So, Kelsey Scott, unfortunately, leaves the field after a hard hit, trying to get to a trying to get to a fly ball there in right field, and gets to the fence and takes a tumble. So we certainly hope she's okay. As Hannah Davis comes in to replace her. Nice sportsmanship, as I mentioned, by Laura Beth Wood. The ball is technically still in play, and Wood might have been able to score. I don't know. But she held up a second as soon as she saw that Scott had hit the fence. So the Bears now with a 10-1 lead. And unfortunately for Coker, at the cost of their right field, and earlier in the game for Lenoir-Rhyne, Caitlin Rackard having to leave the game as well. So, as we settle back in here, still one out in the bottom of the fourth. Laura Beth Woods on second, and Kendall Osborne steps in. She walked back in the second inning, flew out to center in the third. She's the ninth batter to come to the plate for Lenoir-Rhyne this inning. And here's the pitch from Jordan Goodman. And swing and a miss. Strike one. Count goes to 1-1. So the games that I've been with you at home, at least, clean on the injury front until today. So wish they'd have been clean through the year, but those things happen. And there's strike two to Kendall Osborne. Bears lead 10-1. And I guess Coker in danger after if they don't get much going in the top of the fifth. This one might be over. There's a line shot to Fair after getting eaten up by a tough grounder earlier in the inning. Makes a play there for the second out. And Savannah Moorfield will come to the plate. Oh, no, it's not Savannah. I guess with a 10-1 lead, I'm giving some other people an opportunity. And this is number 45 for Lenoir-Rhyne, Graylee Hildebrand. Graylee's a catcher, sophomore out of East Burke High School in Connolly Springs. Not sure if she will come in for Kylie behind the plate, but she's getting an at-bat here. Pinch hit for Savannah Moorfield. So we're still in the bottom of the fourth. Bears lead 10-1. 6-run inning so far, and that's off the pitcher's glove. And is Hildebrand going to be able to get there? Not quite. And ball comes off the pitcher's glove, but Hildebrand is out at first on a 6-3, and that ends the inning for Lenoir-Rhyne. But not before the Bears explode for 6 runs, and unfortunately, one of those that came at a cost for Coker as their right fielder, Kelsey Scott, hit the fence and had to come out of the game. So we certainly hope she's okay. And Morgan Beeler will come out to pitch the top of the fifth and potentially end this ball game with a quick inning. We'll be right back. You're listening to Lenoir-Rhyne Softball on the Bears Sports Network, sponsored by MBA Roofing.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this.
Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
And we're here in the top of the fifth. Lenoir-Rhyne softball trying to sweep a doubleheader from Coker today here in the opening round of South Atlantic Conference play. Bears won the first one 7-0. Lead here 10-1 as Kelsey Golly, the Coker catcher, steps in. And there's a strike from Morgan Beeler. Counts 1-1. Morgan, 4 innings pitched so far, 3 hits, 1 run. A couple of walks and 4 Ks. That's a fly to center. Moorfield will be there, and there's out number 1. So, as we mentioned at the start of the day, looked like strength on strength. Coker's lineup came in batting .314 as a team, 20 home runs in 22 games, 39 doubles. And while they've got their 40th double today from Chloe Pelham back in the third, the Bear pitching staff has ruled the day so far between Lauren Rakes and Morgan Beeler. Ava J. steps in. She grounded out to Laura Beth Wood back in the third in her only other at bat. As Beeler down 2-0 in the count, but 1 out. And potentially could end this thing. And there's a foul back for strike 1. And it hits the food truck just right off the front panel. Wings on Wheels food truck today, and I saw a lot of baskets with wings in them out in the crowd between games, so they must have had a successful day feeding the Bear and Coker faithful here this afternoon. Starting to cool down, sun's dropping. Lights on in the stadium as I believe lacrosse is playing today, and they're playing Coker also, I think. Yes. May League helping me out there, so it's kind of a LR Coker weekend. Beeler gives up a walk to Ava Joy. And a couple of chuckles out there amongst the infield for LR, but don't need to get too comfortable here. 10-1 lead's pretty big at this point, but I want to go ahead and try to end this one. Hannah Davis at the plate, her first at bat. She replaced Kelsey Scott, who, as I mentioned, unfortunately was going after a fly ball off the bat of Laura Beth Wood and crashed into the fence and had to be helped off the field. So we certainly hope Kelsey Scott's okay as Hannah Davis steps in for her first at bat. And that's a fly ball to center. Boy, that's got some length to it, but just back right at the fence. Moorfield made the play. I tell you what, if she'd have straightened that out a little bit, that might have been out of here. So Hannah Davis was allowed out to center. Savannah Moorfield's collected both outs on fly balls out there here in the top of the fifth. And Coker potentially, I believe, maybe down to their last out. As Ava J. stands on first for the Cobras, and Morgan Beeler will face Chloe Pelham. And there's foul ball back here as our young LR fan with the Jose Altuve jersey scrambles after another foul ball. Morgan Beeler goes ahead and count 0-1, facing Chloe Pelham. And ball 1. Bears home on Monday. Another South Atlantic Conference twin bill against the Limestone Saints. First pitch of that doubleheader is at 2 o'clock. Pull the trigger there. Nice pitch by Morgan Beeler. Count goes to 1-2. Then, barring weather, last I had looked, there was a chance of some rain on Wednesday and Thursday. The Bears would host Erskine on Thursday. First pitch for that game is 1 o'clock. So come out and catch some more Bear softball at home. Foul ball down the left field line for Pelham. She stays alive. Counts 1 and 2. 2 outs here. Top of the 5th. Bears up 10-1. Bears with 10 hits and, of course, 2 long home runs by Hannah Jennings in the 3rd, and home run number 45 all time for Kylie Lenhart. And there's a strikeout from Morgan Beeler. And the Bears put Coker away. 1, 2, 3. The walk does not hurt them. So, shortened on this one after the Bears' run explosion of 8 runs in 2 innings in the 3rd and 4th drew this game to a quicker end than Coker would have liked, but a nice day for Lenoir-Rhyne. So the Bears moved to 17-6 overall. They have now won 15 of 16 and stand 2-0 in the South Atlantic Conference. So a nice day for the Bears. I will say, if you follow Coker and are still on the air, looks like Kelsey Scott's ankle is wrapped up pretty heavily with ice, and she sort of hobbled out to the team huddle there in left field. So we certainly hope she's okay, as well as Caitlin Rackard, the Bears shortstop, who took a wild pitch off the helmet back in the 1st inning. Aside from that, good day for Lenoir-Rhyne. Great pitching, both from Morgan Beeler and, of course, Lauren Rakes. 7 innings. Bears overall, I guess 12 innings, only 4 hits and 1 run given up by the Lenoir-Rhyne pitching staff today. And they silenced some pretty heavy bats from Coker, who came in as a statistically very good hitting team, ran into a buzzsaw with Lenoir-Rhyne today. So we thank you for joining us. Bears take 2 here against the Coker Cobras. 7-0 in Game 1, 10-1 in Game 2. A couple of home runs by Hannah Jennings and Kylie Lenhart. Kylie Lenhart's 45th moves her into 2nd place all-time, only 1 behind Sarah Atkins-Cook, all-time leader with 46. And a big day for Savannah Moorfield also, as she became the Bears' all-time leading hitter in the 1st inning of Game 1. Did extend her all-time hitting streak to 22 games in Game 1, but unfortunately that did not last long as she went hitless here in Game 2. So that record hitting streak by Savannah Moorfield will be 22 games, and plenty of time to start another one on Monday against Limestone. So remember, Bears home on Monday against Limestone. First pitch for that one, 2 o'clock. And we'd love to see you out here. If not, try to catch us on the air. Thank you to Malik Ellis, who once again kept us going and did the tough stuff. And I enjoyed being here with you this afternoon. We'll see you on Monday. Everyone have a good evening. Watch Duke and Carolina. And go Bears. Good night.